Hello, everyone, and welcome to 107.5 WECU. This is Awesome Radio, and today you're going to be viewing one of the most powerful shows on Awesome Radio, and that's Let's Talk Real Life with Miss Nada Manning. I'm your co-host, Vernon Garrison. Sit back and relax and get this powerful information inspired by the word, inspired by the station's vision and opportunity to be in your life. This is Awesome Radio 107.5 WECU and Smooth Radio 11570 AM. Thank you very much for joining us on our social media platforms, Awesome Radio YouTube and Awesome Radio Facebook. All right. And of course, one of our affiliate stations is GPAT 23, local access channel, by the way, and you can join us there on their Facebook and watch us on television at GPAT 23, local access channel in Greenville. Look us up, like, share, and leave a comment so we can see what you think about the topics, whether you agree, disagree. Right now, I'm going to turn it over to the host, ladies and gentlemen, the host with the most, Miss Nada Manning. Hello, and how are you?
Hello, everyone. Hello. It's good to be here. It's good to be here at the end of this October season and bringing about a very applicable topic for the month of October. Although it is towards the end of the month, it's still most appropriate. Actually, it's appropriate year round. But since October, we're talking about cancer. We're talking about breast cancer. It's it's a pleasure to be with you all this evening to bring about this subject as you are listening to a cancer survivor of 23 years. And I am here to tell you that it is nothing but the grace of God that has allowed me to still be here to talk about this thing. And brave enough, if you will, a lot of survivors are not comfortable talking about it. And it's understandable because I wasn't either in the beginning. It's something new, it's scary, and it's a lot of unknowns. And as we know, when we have a lot of unknowns, it becomes a very emotional time of uncertainties. So I want to bring about some information that I pulled, as well as shared my own personal experience of being a cancer survivor, breast cancer survivor. Now, I can honestly also say this is breast cancer month, but I've learned over the past few years that a lot of other cancers, types of cancers, are applicable in the month of October. It's focusing on think pink in October is pretty much what it is. And I believe that's what our topic was going to be. Think pink in October, I think. But at any rate, whatever, we are still talking about cancer. Now, as I said a few minutes ago, I did learn that some other cancers have been addressed throughout the history of having cancer. I am a survivor. My mom was a cancer survivor, but it was not breast cancer. She had two types. One was ovarian, and the other one was, oh, that's been probably 55 years ago, I guess. I don't know. Um, but the first one was ovarian. The last one that took her away was lung and liver cancer. So it came back several years later because she's been gone now, I guess 12 years, I think. 11 and 12 is 23. So it's 12 or 13 years she's been gone. So cancer runs between her and I. I don't know of anyone else right off, but it does run through the family. Saying all that to say, breast cancer that I came upon, I don't know anyone else that had breast cancer in my family. As far as I know, I was the only one. Um, and so, saying all that to say, it was very Of course, it was surprising, but it also uh, made me wonder, start digging into family history, like, because I thought that's something that's passed on from other people. Well, not necessarily, because at some point somebody have to start it in order for it to go on to someone else, I suppose. So anyway, I found out that no one else in my immediate family that I know of have had breast cancer. I did not have the worst kind.
Other than
Uh,
your mom.
huh?
Yeah, let's talk about that. That's a good talking point right there. You said no one else, but your mom had it. So you saying no one else other than your mom had
Had
breast
can
had cancer.
no had cancer. She didn't have breast cancer. She
Right.
had she had ovarian cancer 50 something years ago, and she passed away with lung and liver cancer.
And
So
let
it
me
had come back, evidently had came back years later. So I guess history might say that, yeah, we know it can come back. We just don't know when.
let,
So
let,
hers was years later. Yes.
let me get there on that point right there because I was talking to a biologist uh, client of mine I had a few years back, and she was a professor at ECU, and she I don't know how the subject came up about cancer, but she explained it to me in the simplified version, and it was so enlightening because she said cancer is cancer, and the way that we define the type of cancer is where it shows up in the body.
Yeah.
Cancer is cancer.
Yeah.
It is a an attack on the body. It creates abnormal cells that grow out of control, and they form tumors and lumps, and in the breast they form thickening of the breast, but it gets invades your lymph node system. Cancer is to me, now I'm not a doctor, y'all, but cancer is to me an invasion of the body, and it's going to attack your defense system first. So if it comes up in your lungs, it's lung cancer. If it comes up in your um, breast, it's breast cancer. If it comes up in any other organ, that's the title that it picks up. Now, no doubt there are probably specific types of invasions of cancer that I don't know, but I think of it as when she opened my brain up, it's like think of you having cancer and it's trying to, and she used these terms, not me, it's trying to catch a ride somewhere else. It's trying to catch a ride somewhere else in the body so we can get off and start right there too. So that's where, but it usually concentrates in a certain area. Now, um, with that being said, I think of a lot of things when you were talking about detection of it and you talking about family history. I think that's like a sort of a curse of information, especially from the silent generation who, didn't talk much, didn't oppose the government much. The parents of the baby boomers passing down information, and then maybe didn't have a lot of doctors' visits. Somebody that's in their 80s and their 90s right now to even be saying about their family history and who had what and who. I found out about my uncle. A lot of my medical history information came on online facts, looking at uh, some of the census information where they worked at. They worked at Cherry Point. They were engineers and aircraft people, and the environments they worked in, and what they passed away with heart complications of the cardiovascular system. And that's how I understand more of the fact that a lot of men in my family die from heart attacks.
Okay.
So now you're looking at trying to figure out what your mom had versus what you had. And I'm thinking people that are getting married and marrying in the same in the same city and county and region of North Carolina, we all need to know our medical history and where these and how these things are going through our families. And now we sitting back guessing. You know, now we sitting. I'm still talking. I'm learning something. I talk to my mom all the time. I learn something every time I talk about my dad and his history. So I'm gonna sit right there on that. I'm gonna turn it back to you. But I say cancer is where it shows up in the body, and it's going to try to invade. It's going to try to spread to nearby lymph nodes and organs, and create these mastaces, or whatever you call them, just lumps, and that's just trying to kill you out.
And there's no time limit on that. Like I was just sharing about my mom. It was many, 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 many years later when that cancer came back, and it came back in a different area. It came back in a different part of her body. And anyway, let's talk about some of the common myths and facts about breast cancer. It's a myth that a breast injury can cause breast cancer. The fact is, injuries to the breast do not cause cancer, although they may reveal an existing tumor. And I say that to say that some of us women that are, and men have breast cancer too, but some of us that have full breasts, we are more prone to hit our breast unintentionally because there's so much meat, so much fat there till, we might bump up against something, or, and the next thing we know, we have a bump, we have a lump there, a knot, bruising. Yes.
Did you think that you had a higher risk of breast cancer because of the size?
No.
Did you think that?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
No.
You saying some people do think that because they have a larger size breast and they hit it, bump and injure, they feel like they're gonna get cancer from that.
Well, I was just reading here about what might reveal the tumor, which would be a little lump inside the breast tissue.
Yeah.
It could be because the individual hit themselves unintentionally, or something hit, just had a connection of a big uncomfortableness, if you will.
So you can get a tumor from injuring yourself?
This is what this is saying. Although they may reveal an existing tumor.
Oh.
It says injuries of breast do not cause cancer. If you injure your breast, that's no reason that you're going to get cancer because you injured yourself. If you bump yourself and get a knot on your breast and it turned blue and green, that does not mean you have cancer.
Right, because I remember the process because my ex had, my then wife, she had an early detection and she, discovered it. And it's so important to get those early mammograms and get to the doctor on a regular basis. I know some people just say, well, I'm going to live by the help of the Lord. And if the Lord is helping you and the technology is there, then I think you better help yourself to the doctor on a regular basis. I don't really want to talk about an alternative to that. But I was just wondering if, because as soon as back to the process, they stay focused first. Once they determine there is some type of tumor or lump or, meaty area, condensed area in your breast, then that's when they go in and they take that sample, that biopsy, I think it's called, and they take that sample and they come back and tell you whether it's cancerous or not. And what Ms. Nader was just saying, that if you do have an injury, that doesn't mean that you're going to have a breast cancer or it's a tumor, but it does mean to me that if you have an injury and you go to the doctor, they can discover something while they're doing a breast examination. Thus, you can get the same thing that my ex got, the same thing that my mom just got at 80 years old. They found some in her breast, and they got these cameras. Whew. Now I hear it's so uncomfortable when you're going through these tests. They mashing and they pressing and they pushing and they pulling. Oh, but it's all definitely gonna be worth it. It's just extremely uncomfortable. But they found things. They detected some issues in her breast, and they zapped them out. It was cancerous. They zapped them right on out, and it's gone. And it's gone. I hope I can remember later in the show. We'll talk about, if you bring it up, how people have cancer, they beat it, then it comes back, and they fight it, and they beat it, and the getting the chemotherapy or the types of treatments that go into cancer. But I'm sure you'll probably be bringing it up. But other than that, yeah, I can hear you what you saying. The injury doesn't automatically. I wonder if you knew somebody who felt that way.
No.
That, okay, just because I hurt myself, now I'm going to get cancer.
No.
Oh, okay.
Another myth: breast cancer is more common in women with bigger breasts. That's a myth. The fact is, there is no connection between breast size and cancer risk. You could be wearing an A cup or no cup at all and still get it. Another myth is breast cancer only affects middle-aged or older women. Fact is, breast cancer can affect women at any age, although the risk increases with age. I was 41, I think. 41, yeah, somewhere around there, 40 something. And I consider that, well, it's not young, but what's middle age? Middle age is what? Middle age is 50s.
No, I don't know. I'm going to say you're 40. You're 40. You're middle age.
Okay. So anyway, I was in my 40s, and that's when mine, and it was detected early, thank the Lord. But the myth is about the cancer only affecting middle-aged or older women. No, I've known some younger women in their 20s that have had breast cancer before. They survived it, but it was devastating, of course, because they felt they were too young. So, their life was still ahead of them, and I'm just getting started in life. How can I have breast cancer? So it can happen to anyone, middle-aged or older. The fact is, like I said, it can happen to.
Well, if it's happening at the younger ages, just as much as it would be middle age, then it's probably just the public relations type thing. Because I don't recall seeing the younger girls talking about it, in the commercials, and I don't recall seeing early young adults talking about it. But I hear the fact that they get it. I would have to see some numbers, but if they get it just as much as middle-aged people, then to me they're not coming out talking about it as much as middle to upper age people.
Right. And it does not surprise me that the younger crowd won't talk about something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, because they're young. Number two, because they're embarrassed. It's embarrassing. And it's embarrassing to older people too. But the older we get, the more mature we are in facing facts of life. And those young ladies that go through that kind of thing, they haven't lived long enough to experience a lot of the downside of life if they keep on living. So most of the time, they're just too embarrassed to even mention it. Another myth is Finding a lump in your breast means you have breast cancer. I think we talked about that a little while ago. The fact is, most breast lumps are benign, but they should always be checked by a doctor. Don't take it for granted. If you do bump yourself, ladies, and you feel yourself a week or two later, you feel a little lump there, you know, if you can remember that you bumped yourself or not, it doesn't matter. Go check it out. Don't just say, oh, it's going to go away. You don't know if it's going to go away or not, and it's too risky to say so.
What? Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. You just said just because you get an injury that doesn't mean breast cancer.
Right.
Now you're saying if you get an injury, go check it out to see if it's become breast cancer.
No, go check it out to see what it is. If you get injured and you feel a lump there that's abnormal, you may or may not remember that you bumped yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just assume that it's going to go away like a mosquito bite. Don't just go rubbing alcohol on it thinking it's going to go away, because it may not go away. And if it does not go away, then you need to go check it out.
Well, that would be a non-cancerous related observation then. I wouldn't think that I got cancer just because of bump. I hit myself on the corner of a dresser.
Right.
I would, because see, that's a, no, I hear what you're saying, but to me, it's the assault that cancer puts on your mind and your spirit, that fear that it puts into that is venomous, to wondering whether you can live past this or not. There's two factors here. There's technology.
Yeah.
We got a lot of stuff going on now technology-wise. Early detection is now, in the last 20 years, been the flag. They have lowered the age group that you should go in and start getting these mammograms early in life. So I wouldn't say worry at all. I would say if you injure yourself and you hurt yourself and it doesn't subside in a reasonable time, then yeah, you're gonna go to the doctor. But I wouldn't walk in there thinking, okay, you gotta check me for cancer. I hit myself on the table. You should have your mammogram coming up that will catch things like that anyway, whether you hit yourself on the table or not,
But understand that mammograms are not 100% proof.
Well, that's why we are looking at a regular check throughout your life.
Right.
Throughout your, you gonna go take one every month? No, but every 6 months, probably not. Now, there is, I ran into a guy that sells these. Interestingly enough, we talk about this detection. There are private people who do these CAT scans or x-rays, if you will. Let me just be simple about it. They will x-ray your body and they will put it in graphs. I think they had a little plan. It was like $80. And you can go get your own private type testing done. I'm just calling it testing. Your own private imagery done in the interior of your upper body. I think they said it was going to go from your chin down to where it covers your major arteries and major organs. Yeah. So there is go to the photographer and get your portraits done, or you can go to a private, I don't know if they call them radiologists, but whatever, and buy. And these things, what I was trying to say is these these detection things can look into your body, and they're claiming that they can detect cancer or any weird growths, tumors, and anything. So you can do a private investigation on yourself without going to your doctor.
And why would one want to do that?
Because of what you just said. If you
No,
have
no, no, no.
what?
What I mean is, let me rephrase the question.
Yeah,
Why would one want to, and I don't have a clock on my
I got you.
screen.
All right, Ian, I got you with. All right, I'll watch.
Um, why would one want to go that route for something as serious as one's health?
No,
To
this
go
is.
to go
Go ahead, I'm listening.
to instead of going to a licensed physician to get the absolute facts, or just go and buy something like you're describing so that they can see themselves. What is the significance of one versus the other?
Who said that was the choice?
Why? But I'm asking
You
you.
said that in your mind. I didn't say nothing about. Oh well, I'm not gonna go get my regular breast exam this week. Uh,
I'm saying, why would one want to go that route? Hypothetically speaking, okay, whatever reason they don't want to go to the doctor, they want to go this other route you just
what? That's the
described.
question that you're inserting. I'm not saying they don't want to go to the doctor.
You
At
still not
all.
answering my question.
Yeah.
I want to know, why would I, let's say I'm the patient and I have the doctors to go to.
Yeah.
Why would I want to exercise, which is a right that I have to do? I'm just asking a general question. Why would I
Yeah.
want to go buy something like that to scan my body to see everything, so forth, so on, that from A to Z and all of that?
Yeah.
And if I saw something, I'm still going to have to go to the doctor with it. I'm trying to balance the two. Why go that step when I could go to the doctor in the first place? I'm just
Well,
saying.
I'm saying this is a supplement to going to the doctor. This is in addition to going to the doctor. You don't take your appointment, and your doctor may not order. I remember asking my doctor. I said, "Now this is facts right here." I was like, "Okay, I had problems with my kidneys. One kidney a few years ago. I said, do we need to look at it? Do we need to check it? Do we need to, and he basically said no. He said, maybe we'll do it next year. Because if there was something going on with my kidney from the blockage that I had, I know there would be some serious kidney pain going on back there. And also things like that would show up in your physical blood work that they take every year when I do my physical with him. So either I could press in on that, doc, I want an x-ray, doc, I want an x-ray, doc, I want an x-ray. I can press in on that, which I don't really think is necessary at this point. Or I could do something supplemental that out of curiosity. I just had a heart scan about 2 years ago, and they checked my heart and they saw some basic calcification, minor calcification in my heart. Now, I could go back and try to get another one, or I could say, let me go see what these folks doing and spend $80 for this thing to see that if it works, which obviously you're going into a system there. And if they find something, then I'll go to my doctor and say, look, what is this right here? So now we need to, now I have justification to do more research on what's going on. Supplement. You said in your mind that I would say either or. No, if it's time to go to the doctor, the regimen, I think, to detect breast cancer is on schedule now. I think women now can get started in their early 30s to get breast cancer. Definitely by their 40s, they're already into it. So I think that frequency is enough to go get the examination. And then if they wanted something because it runs in their family, in between what they just did at their doctor's office, sure, get it done privately then. See what you can find out. So no, I ain't said nothing about messing with your regular appointments and schedules and your desires if you really think there's something wrong. I just mentioned that they're out of convenience there's other options out there that you can look at.
Next question is, how can I lower my risk for breast cancer, or anyone for that matter?
That's a
Breast
good
cancer,
one.
breast cancer prevention starts with healthy habits such as maintaining a healthy weight, exercising regularly, avoiding alcohol, and eating a proper diet to prevent breast cancer. A mastectomy can reduce the risk of breast cancer by up to 90%. Well, that's the absolute last straw, I would say, is to get a mastectomy. But if it comes to that, then so be it. Uh, what are the possible complications of breast cancer?
But hold, let's go that major point. I can't let you cruise by that. The reason that we're going, and I read some research earlier, over half of our cancer issues can be dealt with if we changed our lifestyle. Cancer is a direct manifestation of our lifestyle, food, exercise, the lack thereof. Cancer is based on how we're living. And if you do change the way you live and you're predisposed for cancer, maybe you still might get it, but maybe you may not get it. But there is real evidence that we won't necessarily be asking God for a miracle to deliver us from cancer if we stop eating Frosted Flakes cereal every morning or stop smoking.
Okay, I'm talking about my own personal experience.
Yeah.
Um, I believe I developed breast cancer from stress. Um, I've never been a junk food eater,
Mm-hmm.
but I have to admit I don't exercise as much as I should. Saying all that to say that the stress factor was, I guess maybe about 6 months. Yeah, I think the bulk of my stress was over because I had relocated to another job. But the stress factor between the job stresses and the loss of my one son, that stress is what caused, to me, that's what I think it was. It was just overwhelming, and I couldn't pinpoint it to be anything else but that. Now, do I have any facts written down that stress can cause? I'm thinking I can find something like that, but that's what I really do believe. Not to say that these habits that this write up is mentioning is not true. Um, but I'm saying I did not see the word stress written in there. But stress can come from different things. People drink alcohol because they stress, I guess. People
Mm-hmm.
do what they do. They
Yeah.
overeat because they stress.
Yeah.
So in my case, I can honestly say that I've never been an alcohol drinker. Um, the exercising is most definitely applicable to me. The which prevents me from having a healthy weight. But the stress factor in my case is, to me, is the bulk reason why I developed the breast cancer, because it had just that whole 10-year period prior to me getting that breast cancer was just overwhelming. Hospitalization, all of that, accidents, all of the whole nine. So I say it was stress for my case. I'm just saying that's for me, as I had mentioned earlier in the show. But I want to make a couple of more points before we end, and I don't think we have.
We 34 minutes in. Let me clear some up that I just opened up. I think that when I said lifestyles, most people might think, oh, what I'm doing wrong in my life. No, basically, what I think we did wrong in our life, in our culture, is we stopped growing food. So that means we're gonna open ourselves up to we don't have farm fresh food like that anymore. Organic food is way expensive. And then when we're out and about outside of our communities now, which is a lot more than it probably was 100 years ago, we're still eating on the road. So I'm not saying everybody that gets cancer can't control their lifestyle, and it's something that they're doing. Biologically, chemically, the way we treat the food that we eat in a commercial way, even if you're eating healthy in a restaurant, you're eating salad, we're still dealing with toxins and all types of fertilizers and chemical ways that food has been treated or the lack thereof. Things have been taken out of food that has made food not as nutritious as from what I understand it used to be. So I just wanted to clear that up, that people, my lifestyle is causing me cancer. No, our lifestyle is causing us cancer. Right. And you just gave a great point. Last thing I'll say is, alcohol causes cancer. Well, stress and life circumstances drive people to drinking.
Yeah.
So you see the lifestyle connection there. Yeah. And then you got some alcoholics that drink and they don't never get cancer.
That's right.
Or smoke and been smoking, and then they're going to keep smoking.
Yeah.
So, but more than half the cancer patients that get a type of cancer can survive it. That's after the detection. And so I'm going to say this commercial again. Get checked out. I knew one guy who was 90-something years old. He said he had never been to the doctor. I think he said he went one time, and it's one of the young adults. I guess maybe it was an emergency that he had found himself at the doctor. Chances of us rolling up in our 90s without ever going to the doctor and relying completely on the Lord to heal us as we go through life, I don't know. I'm not saying it can't be done. It might be being done right now. God might be healing something in my body right now, okay, spiritually, because I'm not paying attention to it because of the way I'm living and talking and breathing and eating. He's taking care of me right now. So that's a daily salvation. All right, back to what you were saying, Mama. Let's keep rolling.
I wanted to talk about a couple of other facts.
Yeah.
Possible complication of breast cancer, including metastasize to other parts of the body. We talked about that. Leading to tumors in the brain, the bones, the lungs, the liver, and elsewhere. We talked about that earlier, how it can spread, right? Blocked blood vessels, bone fractures, pressure on the spinal cord, pain, restricted movement, decreased muscle strength, and bone loss, swelling of the breast tenderness, and hardness due to scar tissue, wound infection, and bleeding. These are some of the possible complications of breast cancer. I think out of all of these, I might have at least 1, 2, 3, about 4 or 5 of these as a survivor. Some more facts I wanted to mention. Breast cancer does not discriminate. Breast cancer has baffled scientists. Scientists don't really understand why the left breast seems to develop cancer more than the right breast. I didn't know that. Mine was in the left breast.
The left side of the whole left side of the body is susceptible to cancer. That is weird. I don't see nothing that should be baffling in that way. But yeah, it's enlightening to hear that. Because there's certain parts of the body that's the way we designed, so it's susceptible. And again, it's going to go after our immune system and anything that can break down your immune system. And so it depends on the lymph nodes and everything that's over here on the left side of your body that make it susceptible to it. Enlightening fact.
Men get it too. Overall, only 1% of American males are diagnosed with breast cancer, but African American men, just like women in their community, are more prone to die from the disease.
Probably because we like, man, I ain't gonna get checked for no breast cancer.
breast cancer is the nun's disease at one time. They used to call it nuns, N-U-N-S, nun's disease. It was called the nun disease because it seemed to afflict more nuns than women in the general population.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
Never heard that before.
Now, you would think that the nuns would have a more peaceful, calm type life. The nuns,
I ain't gonna think that.
okay, I say you would think. One, okay, one, not you.
Somebody else might think that.
One would think that those nuns seem to have a more peaceful, comfortable lifestyle.
Now,
Okay.
the reason I'm not gonna think that is because no part of society that's segregated, that's put themselves in an extreme circumstance, just like them pastors and priests that however they come to the knowledge of their relationship with God, that they're not gonna get married. Oh boy, I know what it's like not being married. I know your mind going to and fro. I know firsthand, so can't nobody tell me nothing. And I'm not a priest or nothing in the situation like that. But I'm gonna say the ladies that's in that nun situation, I feel like their life is tumultuous. I didn't say it right. Their life is just be around women around women every day. Oh, they got drama. Hey, man, they got so much stress. You ain't gonna tell me that just because they can control their own lives and they not here dealing with men and not married and don't have to cook every day and bear children, that they got an easier life. No, they cut up. I'm just, ladies and gentlemen, yes, I don't know a nun, okay, but somebody in there. Now, the only people I might believe that don't have a lot of drama in their life because they live in a secluded life situation are the monks. But I'm gonna get in trouble if I say this religion that start with a C. Catholics, when you go back and look in recent history of all of those priests who molest little boys and all of those things that are happening behind closed doors in the Catholic Church, in which some of them same things happen in the Baptist Church. Okay, there you go. I'm leveling out. You come for me if you want. You ain't telling me that secluded lifestyle has shielded them from nothing.
Okay.
Foolishness get foolishness, begat foolishness, whether it's outside in public or it's inside in private.
Well, all right. I'm not going to address that. Okay. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm just reading what the facts is that I have looked up here.
One of the them will say this for entertainment purposes for the show. One of the most interesting women I have ever looked at or met had on one of them nun outfits. I was in Atlantic City, New Jersey, with my mom, taking her on a little bingo gambling trip. And I was in a convenience store and I saw a nun. Okay, no, I'm basically saying what I thought was a nun. You know, the outfit with the thing. Man, the way that lady was looking at me and I was looking at her, I said, oh, Lord, there ain't nothing but trouble right there. That's why I think some of the things that I think. All right, I'm sorry, y'all. My apologies. It's we've been in on this thing 43 minutes already.
So, not to continue to horn in on the nuns, but nuns and priests and pastors and all the other ministerial positions are all human beings.
Oh, praise God. Thank you for the acknowledgement. Now I understand.
And because they're in the position that they're in, they have to be more aware and more on point with how they behave to justify their position. And that's extremely hard to do for some folks. Some folks it's easier than others. I'm not saying one way or the other who did what when, because I don't know, and it's not for me to say if I did know. But
they get cancer just as much as the regular population.
They're still human beings. Yes.
Yes, their lifestyle is their lifestyle. And
Right.
my lifestyle ain't much different, but their lifestyle is their lifestyle.
And many of them, not all of them, but a lot of them don't have a weight issue. And I thought, now I don't know a lot about them, but I thought they ate pretty healthy. But then maybe I'm mixing them up with the what's that other group of people? Not Mormons.
Israel, Muslims,
No,
Muslims.
the other group of people that live in the Pennsylvania upstate area that
Oh, you got the Amish, you got the
Almonds.
Mennonites.
Yeah, them. I don't know a whole lot about none of those folks. All I know is we are all human beings under God. How about that? And we are all subject to eat, drink, act ugly, misbehave, just like any other person, which affects our lifestyle one way or another, sooner or later. So, moving right along, we're coming to the end of the show, I believe. And I just wanted to point out a couple of things that I had researched on. Wasn't everything that I wanted to talk about, because this was supposed to be a two-part show, but we're not going to make it because I wanted it to be the month of October. But things happen. Anyway, we talked about lymph nodes earlier. Swelling of the arms due to lymph node removal. It's called lymphedema. Lymphedema is what that's called. Lymphedema. Different people have different number of lymph nodes. I had quite a few removed. I don't know what the number was, but it was quite a few.
Oh,
and
really?
I believe that those lymph nodes are removed to prevent the spread of the cancer in that particular area. That's what I'm thinking.
They in that highway. They in that transportation route with cancer try to use.
Yeah. And while they're removing those lymph nodes, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are listening, this is we're coming to the end of the show, but this is Let's Talk Real Life. And as usual, we get so involved in what we're talking about, we forget to mention the name of the show while we're doing the show. Let's Talk Real Life. I'm your host, Nada Manning, and this is co-host Coach Garrison, as we share our thoughts and ideas and experiences about having breast cancer. And because of this lymphedema, I myself have experienced, and I believe that's the way it's going to be from what I remember from the medical folks. When the number of lymph nodes you have removed will determine the size of the area, how there's a difference in the size, especially with the breast. Okay. One breast is going to be larger than the other. And it's been my years as I have aged that it appears to become more obvious by just looking at myself, the difference in the size. And I dare say, and I could be wrong because I'm not a medical person, but that lymphedema that occur while it's being removed is also removing some fatty tissue, some other whatever. I won't say it's not a food, so I'm not going to say ingredients, but whatever else is going on under the skin. Okay, it's not ugly, but you can see that there's a major difference in that, and there's nothing to fear. Look at the alternative. Look at the alternative. I'd rather go through that than to be looked down upon 6 feet under. How about that?
Look, and also you're about to get punched in the face by the ladies that have them removed.
That's
I'm
correct.
about to save you. They probably talking about, look at her. She talking about the cosmetic aspect of things.
Right.
Here. And one of mine gone, or both of mine gone. So I was gonna save you though.
Yeah. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And even with that, even with both of them being removed, still it beats the alternative.
Mm-hmm.
It beats the alternative either way you look at it, because from what I understand, there's also some cosmetic surgery out here today, folks, that will make it look like ain't nothing happened to you.
And I think that's justified to use.
Yeah.
That.
And so it's worth the expense, ever how much that is, to make yourself whole again. And I will say this before we end. I think we got
We
running
got
out of time.
probably about 4 minutes. We've been in.
Okay.
I'll let you know about 4 minutes.
I can say this from my own personal experience. Having had breast cancer shortly after I had the procedure, I had the chemo and the radiation, and I was still going through the session. So it also affects us mentally. I can say for the ladies, I guess the guys too, but when it comes to your emotional attachments, your physical frame of mind as a woman, it makes you feel some kind of way. Am I still worthy? I'm going to have this scar the rest of my life. How is a man going to look at me now with these things going on? And those are natural feelings. Those are natural feelings. But again, I say it beats the alternative. If you have that significant other in your life who really cares for you, then that's something that you and he can talk about. Find out how he really feels about it and go from there. But don't let that stop you from living. Because I'm going to say this, and I mean what I say. He is not worth it if he don't care nothing about what you've been through. Move on. He's not worth it. Because he has no idea what it's like. He's not you. He might have had some experiences with somebody else, but he's not you. And that somebody else is not you. So do not let that deter you from living. You have your little moments where you're feeling sad and all of that, but you must get past that. Because life is not over because you had breast cancer. Remember, it's in your mind anyway. Once you set your mind on surviving, you can survive a whole lot better and a whole lot quicker. Don't give in to it. Get yourself with someone who can support you and help you through it. That's what matters. Amen. Father God, we come to the end of this lesson. We give you the praise and the honor and the glory for yet another moment, Lord, with you as we share our stories on this air with all the listeners out there, Lord. Please touch their hearts and minds to adhere to what's been said, do some personal research of their own, and trust you above all else. Trust you and ask you, Lord, what should I do about this thing? Because you are in control of everything all the time. And we must trust that. In Jesus' name, amen.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another wonderful episode of Let's Talk Real Life with Miss Nada Manning. We appreciate all of the input and engagement on social media. This is 107.5 FM, WECU, Awesome Radio. Love you guys. See you next time.